Hans Comyn. The sun's come out. Did you notice?
Oh, wow.
We spent the last maybe 2 days, 48 hours without sun here on this island in the coast of Brazil. Winter is coming, and I don't know about you, Hans. I don't think you felt it yesterday, but yesterday I felt incredibly alone, like loneliness, deep sadness, and I notice a big part of it is just the sun. When the sun is gone and it's cold and you just can't get warm enough. You know, you can't get warm enough. Family's not around. I think maybe it was exacerbated by, I know my family's getting together for a reunion soon. And I had kind of come to the almost conclusion that I'm not going to go, that I'm not going to be there. And I think the combination of that and also, you know, like
Why not?
we're working with men and we're reaching out and we do this podcast and we do some other invitations and we do it on the internet, but it's not the same as having guys here in person, you know. There's a real missing for me, you know. I would love to do my honor work, my gatherings. It's so important to me to have people, you know, have people. We talk about brotherhood on these calls, and you're here, and that's great. But beyond that, I mean, with the lockdown, like we don't even really
terrible.
Connect with many Brazilians at all. People got their masks on. Yesterday, I go to the mall, and this angry guy, you know, because I'm not wearing my mask, and it's
you can't even, like, even if you talk, you think the eyes are like the soul, you know, and if this is blocked, you don't see much. But now I realize with the mask, you connect so little with people.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like trying to, and then they're afraid, you know, to.
Yeah, with a girl, you go in for the kiss, and it's just like mask to mask, and no, but you know, a big reason I come to Brazil is similar to Africa, because the warm connection I feel with people, and the aliveness in it. But the aliveness has to do with the connection, and yeah, it was rough for me yesterday. And towards the end of the day, you know, and we were thinking about going someplace sunny, moving north, because winter is coming here in South America. We're not far from winter. The mornings are getting colder. There tends to be less sun in the morning.
This morning was 13 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let me see, 26. It's about 56 degrees in Fahrenheit. And the wind's blowing, so with the wind chill, it's probably less than 50 degrees. And then we go jump in the ocean, you know, swim in the ocean for about 20 minutes. And go ahead, Hans. Do you really? I know you want to share.
No.
I know you want to share.
No, he got hammered this morning by a wave, like a Skye.
He loves seeing me in pain. But anyway, yesterday I had a deep loneliness, like a depression. And it's relatively unusual for me, you know? And I just thought of all the guys out there, the people out there who may be feeling the same thing.
Yeah, I never connected with that feeling either until like after 2016 when something happened, and it's strange, you know, because now I know, because I've been in places that you feel okay, whatever is depression, I don't know if this is it, but I could feel like why would I get up in the morning, you know?
Yeah.
And for the first time I would understand people who would like be suicidal, like, not that I always feel like I have to qualify this. Not that I was like thinking ever, but I could see where it's coming from, or I could see down that path, you know?
Yeah.
It's strange. It's crazy.
Well, it's funny. You know, like I know what would make a difference is reaching out to family. is getting some connection. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it all day till the end of the day. I reached out to my sister. But what I did do towards the end of the day was I turned on like the X Factor and American Idol, where people just get up there. It's their one chance in the world, and they sing their heart out to the world, you know, and they put everything into it, and they got their family watching. And, you know, like there's a Filipino couple, and they've got this, I think she was 9 years old. Can't remember her name right now, you know, and she just goes up there, you know, and she's so full of joy, just sings her heart out, you know. And I don't know, man, over the past 10 years, traveling the world, oftentimes being alone, at times when I felt really low like that, that was my go-to for a lot of it. And I was like, I'll just watch one performance after the next. And it's all choreographed, like the way they put the edit together to show the family and to show the whatever, and to get at your heart, you know?
Right.
And yeah, it's in those moments I think about, what if I had children? Or it makes me think about family. You know, I think about singing my heart out, like giving everything. And
I usually watch videos of animals getting rescued. I got a weakness for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard not to be touched by that, but
yeah.
I wanted to share something that I also discovered really made a difference for me, because I went from, you know, when I was in Austin, I was surrounded by family. I was surrounded by people who'd done my work. I was really close to sunshine in Austin, positive people doing visionary, entrepreneurial, creative things, young people, music, live music all the time. It was very much a place of, you know, connection and liveliness like that. But in a way, I was like so into the future and going forward and discipline and all of this that, you know, after my first 2 trips to Africa, I would go back to Austin, and the level of connection was so different between Austin and like Africa. It was like magnitudes different. And I noticed that when I came back to Africa, especially after the second time, after 2 months there, I felt myself like trying to cope with the lack of connection in Austin.
When you came back to Austin, okay, yeah.
And I felt myself closing back up, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then as I went and started traveling the world, also with my, like, the ways I learned to survive in the States, which was kind of being aloof, you know, like arrogant, distant, serious. That was not going to work. That was going to leave me disconnected. And one thing that really made a difference for me was just I started giving. I started serving. I started just really focus on giving. I let go of my business, let go of what I'm trying to do, and I just started showing up generously. And it made all the difference in the world for me.
Yeah, that seems like a great way. Oh, wow. It's funny because I had stories coming back, and I noticed that me connecting with people has always been an easy thing, you know, also when I travel. But I see how getting out of the confinement, the great way to get out of it is being generous. Start showing up for people. I can see how that is a great way to make connections.
Yeah, I remember my friend Tom invited me to Brazil. He was the first guy to invite me to Brazil, and I stayed with his family for about 3 months. in Joinville, Brazil, a few hours north of here. And I'd wake up every morning in paradise. I mean, it's just lush green and tropical, beautiful. And I had my own room and I had this balcony and just open it and sunshine and flowers. And it was incredible. And I'd go downstairs and his wife, would be cooking breakfast and making coffee. And I would go in and I would give a kiss on the cheek. And his adult son lived with him at the time, and his beautiful wife, and I'd go and give her a kiss on the cheek. And in Brazil, everyone greets with a kiss on the cheek, what the men and women do, and women to women. And it felt so warm and connective. And it was a little bit uncomfortable for me. And even after a while, I kind of realized, well, they don't really do this every day. But I was doing it every day. I was going in for the kisses, because, I just wanted that warmth and
Oh, you don't use the tongue? Oh.
I noticed this time when I got here to Brazil, everyone started wearing masks, and maybe, word got around that Michael Skye kissing guy is coming.
Let's blame it on Corona. Not make him feel so bad about himself.
But I started.
Go back
it's
to
funny
generosity.
because now I'm making a connection. Because back in the day, I was maybe 23 years old. I grew up really, really like shy, I would say. Not around like core group of friends, not around people at church, but in public school and all that, I was extremely shy and alone, like I was a loner. But when I was 23, I went back to Atlantic City for a weekend, and my sister Lisa and I, we went out for New Year's Eve, and we're at this big amphitheater, and they're playing live music, and everyone's there to celebrate, but no one is on the dance floor. Nobody's on the dance floor. So Lisa and I would go down to the dance floor, and we're just kind of looking at each other. We're like, all right, we're gonna be first or whatever. And I don't remember who did it first, but I think we challenged each other. Like we'd take turns. Like I'd go across the dance floor, like on one leg playing air guitar, and then she would do it, and we just started doing this crazy stuff. And before you knew it, like the whole dance floor was full, and she and I are like not giving a fuck, and and I danced with so many girls that night, and it's like we were the life of the party, me and my sister. And it was such an amazing experience for me. It's completely different than what I knew. When I went back to Austin, I took that strategy. And what I would do is I'd go out alone, no alcohol. And 6th Street has club after club after club. I'd go to one bar or club. I'd get on the dance floor, almost kind of like as if my sister was there. Just act like an idiot, just completely have fun by myself, not focus on anyone else. The dance floor would fill up. I'd go to the next club, and I'd fill up the dance floor, and then the next one, and then the next one. After a few of those, like, I wasn't giving a fuck. I was so connective, and it is such a different experience in myself. But the connection I made is I started doing that, like, in Brazil, that like most Brazilians, when they hear like a native English speaker, they close up. And I was like, that's so weird. It's like it's almost non-Brazilian in a way. But they're shy to speak English, and it's uncomfortable, and I took it upon myself to like, I'm gonna bring the party. I'm gonna bring the joy. I'm gonna make them laugh, and I found ways to do that. And I think that was, So like I was focused on that and focused on just giving. Almost being, in a way, being more Brazilian than them. Like that was the challenge I took on. Like be Brazilian.
I like the giving as a way to connect. When I'm I told you this, when I'm with new cycling clubs or new people, new cyclists, I noticed that I film them, you know, and every cyclist wants images or photos of himself, you know, and but you never do it, like a few people do it, or to do that of someone else.
All right.
Yeah, and
that's a great gift to give.
yeah, I always do it. I get a bit ahead, and then I film them coming, and you know, it's a great gift, and it's a way to connect.
It's almost it's I think of like smokers. You go outside and you bum a cigarette off someone, so someone's giving
Right.
to another person, and then you have something to talk about. You're connected.
Right.
Giving, man.
Yes.
That's what I learned as I traveled the world is if you do it with money, which a lot of the 10 years I was traveling, it was for the most part without money.
Mm.
And so the common language of connection is giving.
You give, and you can give different things, like give a picture, but you could give your time, you can give attention, you can give honor, you can compliment, there's so many things you can give that really connects.
I remember I was at a hostel in Argentina, and I was sitting out in the courtyard, and a guy comes in, a new guy at the hostel that day. He didn't know any of us. We didn't know him. He comes out with a plate of fruit that he cut up, and he like brings it for everyone. Like he's brought it to share. And I'd been in Brazil for 3 months earlier, and then I'd been in Argentina maybe a month, and I immediately guessed he's Brazilian, and I was right, you know. Because that's kind of like Brazilians are so much like that in general.
Wow.
It's really so opposite my personality. It's opposite my personality.
That's true. I realize now I go with the Colombians, and I realize what I do. I do the same kind of thing. They have this bocadillo, which is like a piece of fruit, like dried fruit in a paper, you know, and you can have like 15 of them for like, it weighs nothing. And I take it with me when it's new rides, and when we're stopping, I give one to everyone.
That's great.
And it's just, it's just a way of, it's easy, you know, easy and connective. I want to say hello to Ahmed. Ahmed, every morning he's watching, and I never give a shout out.
Ahmed.
He's in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
And he came to Malaga as well.
Really?
Yeah. Incredible guy. I hope you're well, Ahmed. And
speaks English, huh?
Yes. Incredible stories.
Yeah?
But yeah. Very particular situation, man. Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Yes. So he followed us around the world. He came to Romania. He came to...
wow.
He came to Malaga.
Come visit us in Brazil, Ahmed. So, I was going to tell you the story about I was in Brazil 2016, and I was in a car with 3 other Brazilians, and we're on our way to an ayahuasca ceremony out in the countryside, and it's a long drive. I'm sitting in the back, and someone else is in the back, and they pull out an apple. They take a bite of their apple.
Wow.
They pass it to me. I'm like, okay, because part of giving is also receiving. That's the other side. Like, if someone offers you something and you don't receive it, there's the disconnection.
Right.
So I was also practicing receiving. And as an American, like, we don't share our apples. And I take a bite, and the person tells me to pass it to the people in the front, and every person takes a bite, and it's like we're just going around with the same apple, biting out of the same apple. And it's like, to me, very strange and uncomfortable also. But, you know, I remember in Argentina, they get together once a day. They take a break like in the afternoon, and they have their mate. And everyone drinks from the same cup and the same straw. And it's got you have the green mate. It's like a tea.
Same here.
And they'll, with them, I think here it's cold water, isn't it? And with there it's hot. But they'll fill it up, you know, or put some hot water in there, and then you sip on it, and then you give it back, they put hot water, and then it's the next person's turn. and everyone's sharing, and it's just a time in the afternoon to connect. Everyone to connect. That's it.
Right.
You stop what you're doing. You connect.
I here too. I'm like, fuck, same cup.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, you have people smoking joints. The joints get passed around.
Right.
You know.
It was definitely, that was one of the things as I was traveling is, you know, if you travel with all your same barriers, all your same limits, all your same ways of being an individual, you don't connect as much. You don't come alive as much. And yeah.
I think the giving was a great insight. This is Dan Hermano. He's the reason I got to Romania in the first place.
Oh yeah?
All my histories. Dan came to Brussels and to Amsterdam, invited us 2011.
What's happening, Dan?
Spent a month there and it changed my life. And I came back.
So he's Romanian.
He's Romanian, in Bucharest. We're coming in, I'm coming in September. So stay put. More Romanians, see?
Mm-hmm.
Victor. All right. Well, it's good to get back on track. I think it's certainly these times, the loneliness is something that we all share at times. You know, I felt lonely too. I'm angry at the difficulty of connecting. But I wanted to put out a call. If you do feel lonely and you resonate with our message, you know, you can always reach out. I am here. You want to talk?
Yeah, as far as
Brazil.
The Ronin Radio podcast goes, any comments, questions, engagement, be happy to entertain your questions, inquiries, and so forth. Reach out.
And